Knockouts. Tonya TKO here. I'm just waiting for the link to populate and then we're going to go live on the other platforms and we're going to jump right into the topic because I felt like, well, long story short, I sent a text out to the text notification squad behind the scenes, just letting them know that I am thankful for the safe space that we've created. If you have not joined the text notification squad yet and you've been thinking about it and you want to join and you want to be among the community that we have behind the scenes and you want to support the channel, it is $1.99 a month plus fees and or $22 for the year plus fees or $4.99 a month plus fees or $50 a year plus fees if you're international. So in the US, $199 a month plus fees, and then internationally $4.99 a month plus fees. All right, so I'm going to send out, it looks like the link populated quickly, so I'm just going to copy this, and then I'm going to send it out to the text notification squad. I'm also going to send it behind the scenes to the people who are signed up to get live alerts from me, as well as the text notification squad, the people who haven't gotten their text because of barriers by the telecom industry. So we got those out. That went out pretty quickly. So that is cool. So now let's go ahead and get live on these other platforms. Let's get this done. Oh wow, you all got in here early. Wow, they moving quickly today. iPhone had their massive update. YouTube is going live quickly. Got these comments up. Hey. All right. Welcome everybody. Welcome. I am your host Tonya TKO. Yes, I am a self-love specialist from TonyaTKO.com. I was just sitting here thinking because I sent out a message to the text notification squad. And, I've been communicating back and forth behind the scenes. So, look, let me just say this to you. If you're on the text notification squad, we have a hangout on Telegram where we communicate sometimes between broadcasts as well as, the alerts that you get on Telegram for those who haven't been getting their text. We found a workaround as well as a way to deepen and strengthen the community. And for the people who do not have the $1.99 a month, or they just kind of want to see what it's like to get messages and you want to get the notification, I found a way for you to get a notification for free on Telegram. The links are in the description. Text Squad, which is a way for you to be able to support the channel, as well as the live alerts, which is a way for you to be able to support yourself and make sure that you get the link whenever I go live. So I sent out all of those links already so that we are here in the building. Welcome. And today we're talking about Thanksgiving and we're talking about holidays because I remember years ago, I was having a conversation with a male friend of mine and it was around Valentine's Day. And he was talking about guys who are like, oh, they don't celebrate Valentine's Day because, every day should be a day of love, etc. So they don't want to participate in Valentine's Day. And my guy friend, his point of view on it was pretty much, you don't have to celebrate Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is just a day created on the calendar. There's the text out right there. Perfect. He was like, it's just a day on the calendar, but it is a yearly reminder to make sure that you go above and beyond the daily celebrations of love. So he was a big fan of Valentine's Day because he enjoyed being able to just ratchet it up a notch for the woman that he loved. And I thought to myself, because, so many of us women, we get shortchanged. Text notification squad, go ahead and throw up your 1010s in the building. Welcome. So many of us women get shortchanged because we are with men who are like, oh, I don't celebrate Valentine's Day. That's some Greek this, or Saint Valentine was a killer, or whatever the case may be, right? But I think that it's important. I think it's imperative for just the quality of your life to create rituals, to create practices in which each year there is a set time. You don't have to depend on the government's calendar. You don't have to depend on somebody else's calendar. This is something that you do for you. So I sent a message out to the tech squad earlier, just not too long ago, actually, and I started communicating with some people behind the scenes, and I was getting mixed messages from people who either don't celebrate or do celebrate or celebrate something different or go to work or don't celebrate anything at all. This is why I'm doing the video. I'm doing the video because me personally, my family, based on what it is that we learned about Thanksgiving, about how the pilgrims turned around and killed the indigenous Native American people right after the feast, and it really wasn't the feast. Well, the Thanksgiving get together wasn't really one that was done in love. It was one that was exploitative, and also that it wasn't really a feast like how they're making it. Personally, I'm a big fan of holidays. I'm a big fan of gratitude. I'm a big fan of being gracious and celebrating life, coming together with family, celebrating love, celebrating birthdays. Because you know what? Before you know it, this whole thing that we call life, it just gets put behind us. I created a yearly tradition of traveling each year for New Year so that I spent New Year's in a new place each year. And then I also would go away for my birthday each year because sometimes we get so caught up in work and life and the rigmarole that we forget until a date is coming on the calendar. And then we're like, oh, we get jarred out of the status quo, out of the everyday. And we're like, okay, well, now is the time that we have to really take some time to honor whatever it is that you choose to honor. And I encourage you to set your own family traditions, to set a time each year that you go on family vacation, to set a time each year that you celebrate your children, that you celebrate your daughters, your sons, that you celebrate yourself. That what is this Parks and Recreation in October they created a holiday that my friend told me about, and it was Treat Yourself. Is it? And it's called Treat Yourself or something like that, something along those lines. And each October, she treats herself and she makes it a big deal. And so I am encouraging you. Okay, you don't have to celebrate Thanksgiving. You don't have to celebrate Valentine's Day. You don't have to celebrate 4th of July. You don't have to celebrate anything, right? You don't have to. But these celebrations, these get-togethers, the times of revelry and gratitude and communion and family, that's what makes life worth it. I was sitting here. This is a segue. This is a little off topic, right? I was sitting here wondering who is this person that is inhabiting my father's body? Because he is not the same man that I grew up with. As a grandfather, he is a completely different human being. And I was just sitting here, just thinking about, I was like, these kids don't really know you. I know you. I was just sitting here like, they think you're somebody else you're representing to be now, but I know you. I knew you when you were young and how you got down. But yeah, I was just sitting here like, who is this person? This overly nice spoiler. I was like, this ain't the person I grew up with. The one with the vacuum cleaner cord and the beatings and all of that and the short temper. I was like, I was just sitting here reveling about that. But nonetheless, that was a little segue. I just had to get that off my spirit because I was like, I was like, But you know what? I don't know what happens to them once they become grandparents, but they change into complete. I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. Look. Okay. Susie understands what I'm talking about. If you understand what I'm talking about, Go ahead and put up, let's see, let's put up a 3. I need to, oh, you see life to live? You see this? You see this? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, well, okay. Yeah, yeah, because they all of the discipline and all of the short temper and all of the violence and all that other stuff was enacted upon you. And then all of a sudden, they become grandparents and they turn into Sergeant Softies and Mrs. Mushy and all of that. You see what I'm saying? Okay, all right. So you all know what I'm talking about. Okay, okay. Because I was just sitting here marveling at this. Uh-huh. I was like, who are you? And I try to tell them, but they're like, no, that's not how grandpa was. I can't even imagine it. No. And I'm like, he got y'all fooled. He got y'all fooled. You see, Farrah? Wow. 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 You see this? Wow. The wow. Okay. I knew it. I knew it. But nonetheless, not, you see, Tanya. Oh, wow. So you see, Tanya, yeah. So let's continue talking. Let's continue talking, right? Mm. You see? Nonetheless. So I encourage you, I encourage you that if you're not going to celebrate the national holidays, that you at least create family traditions all your own. That you at least, and you know what? I wanted to, because someone wrote me back about how, Thanksgiving is a pagan holiday and they don't celebrate pagan holidays. I wanted you all to just venture with me to look up the word pagan. I'm gonna Google this with you all, right? Because a lot of us, in our effort to be independent, right? All right. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Here we go. So we'll just go to Wikipedia, right? And we'll just take a look at this, right? Paganism is a term used in the 4th century by early Christians for people in the Roman Empire who practice polytheism, which is more than one god, or ethnic religions other than Judaism. In the time of the Roman Empire, individuals fell into the pagan class either because they were increasingly rural and provincial related to the Christian population, or because they were not Millies, Christies, or alternative term for, but you get the point. You get the point. You get the point. From the research, from the research that I have done about paganism really is the most natural way to interact with our environment. With the meridians of the sun, with the how the sun and the moon traverse through the earth or around the earth, or the earth around them, and the relationship that we have with nature when the spring comes, when the fall comes, when winter is here, going with the seasons, and having a relationship with nature. Paganism has been demonized by religious people. They call people pagans as a way to make them seem bad. But there really is nothing bad about pagans. And I think that, we say the term so much that we don't even look into why we're saying the term. For example, right? Christmas. Have you ever wondered why they have this tree with the globes on it, etc.? This is from the winter solstice. People used to celebrate when the winter came around, and they used to put little globes on trees to represent the sun. And and the people who were Christians at the time could not get people to stop celebrating winter solstice. So what they did was they incorporated Christmas, even though Jesus was born sometime in June. They decided to posit as if Jesus was born in the winter so that it could line up with the same holiday. And then they called it Christmas. And then, they had all of these things and the tales and all of this stuff that went along with it. But it really was a holiday that they could not stop people from celebrating because it was a natural holiday that came with the solstice of the sun in the winter. And so, have you ever wondered why in Easter, Oestre, do we have eggs that we plant out in the grass? I don't know if you want to know. Bomb Barbie, it is not linked to demons. It is not. And I think that you have to educate yourself. My goodness, what is a demon? It's like, come on. And then if you ever wondered why they put eggs in the grass. So there was a time, this was the celebration of fertility. And there were people who did not necessarily know that sex created children. They had these festivals, these where you'd be out in the grass and it would be a good time had by all, Woodstock style, if you know what they was out there doing in Woodstock. And so with the fertility, you'd lay down in the grass and you'd have a good time, you coupling, right? And then people would become with child and children would be born, and then it'd be time for celebration all over again. And they would celebrate fertility in this way. And so if we look at Tiana saying this live is giving me so much life with my new spiritual journey. All right. Wait a minute. Somebody threw a turkey out the window in a movie called About Last Night. Lord have mercy. T says you're on point. Keep educating. The word Easter cannot be found in the Bible. I mean, look. Dip is saying sounds like a good time for real, for real. I thought about this, and some of you may be like, oh, it's so immoral to have intercourse around other people, to have intercourse out in the open and stuff like that, right? I'll say this: we demonize something natural like intercourse, and we glorify things that are not conducive to our how do I put this? Violence is something that they have no problem showing in the movies. If they want to depict a person's head being split open or their guts ripping out and falling down onto the ground or somebody getting run over back and forth with a car or chopped up with an axe, they'll show it. They'll show the blood spurting, but they will not show something natural like semen shooting out of a penis. That is something that children shouldn't see. That is something that, and listen, and I'm not saying that children should see either. What I'm saying is one is natural and conducive to life, and one is antithetical to life. One is against life. But in the movies, they will show the liquids of a brain or the depiction of the liquids of a brain shooting out and just say, oh, parental advisory under a certain age. But something as natural as intercourse, they do not show those liquids. Those liquids are deemed inappropriate. And I wonder, why aren't the liquids of death deemed inappropriate? Right? Why aren't those liquids? Why isn't graphic depiction and gore? Why isn't that considered inappropriate? Right? And so I'm just asking that question. I'm just asking that question, right? Because I think that our perspective has largely been shifted by, yeah, oh, will they show death, but they won't show birth? Yeah, you can't even, unless it's for male gratification, you can't even show breast. You can't show a child breastfeeding. Something natural as that. They have turned the woman's body into something, the image of it is owned and controlled by the whims and desires of men. And it's something that makes you go, you know? So Bomb Barbie understands what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they should show sperm, but I'm just saying these are all juices from the body. But they have no problem. And listen, personally, I can't watch that stuff. It's traumatizing. It's grotesque, it's traumatizing. I can't watch people getting beat up. I can't watch those things. You know how it is, because remember when we were seeing back to back police violence against people who look like you? Trisha says she's putting me to sleep. It's my voice. My voice is so soothing and relaxing. Here, let me help you, Trisha. Take a few moments to breathe in and exhale as you allow the good feeling to come over you. Yes, I understand. So listen, yes, yes, yes. No, my voice is very soothing. I understand, because when I go to edit my videos, I always have to sleep. There's just something very melodic and just very trancing about my voice, even for me. So nonetheless, right? And so Tanya Wright is saying, my mother just did not do holidays. We traveled. My birthday is the only thing she celebrated while I was young. And that is, I think that we rob ourselves of experiences. I remember I read once when I was in my 20s, right? When I was in my 20s, I bought a picnic basket. And I bought this really nice picnic basket. And I remember I read this article. It was like in one of those magazines for young women, either Marie Claire or Cosmo, right? And it was like, it doesn't matter if the outing that you create is planned. Like, so many people want things to be spontaneous. And it was basically, the article was like, it doesn't matter if it's planned. You're still going to go out and have a good time and have a wonderful memory. Because, like, so many people just want to be like, oh, let's just wing it. Like, oh, I shouldn't have to create these plans for a good time, with my mate or my spouse or my family. But when you were young and you had a birthday party, it needed a plan. Somebody had to decide to get the plates and to get the cake and to get the streamers or the whatever. Somebody had to decide that this day you were going to celebrate. And so I remember when I was young, and it used to be, I remember I had a birthday in school once, and I really wanted one of those Carvel. For those of you on the East Coast, I really wanted one of those Carvel ice cream cakes with the brown crumble in it. Oh, there's a mosquito who's trying to feast. Hmm. And I remember that my mother actually got me the cake, and she brought it to school, and everybody got to taste the cake, and everybody got to celebrate with me. And I was so happy. I remember I was so happy that other people got to taste a style of cake that I really liked, that I got to bring this to them, that they got to taste my favorite, that I got to get it, and that everybody had a few moments that they could just be in this energy. And I was little, and I remember just feeling really special about that, because my birthday is in the summertime. And so, it takes a lot of planning for a parent to go get an ice cream cake and get it to your school and get it on the table and cut up for the kids in enough time for it not to be melted. It took a lot of planning for that, coordinating with the school and all of that. Because you all know I'm a Leo, so my birthday is in the dead of summer, hot, hot. And I remember I just felt so special that day. And I implore us that even if you don't celebrate national holidays, that you create your own. Because what ends up happening is, if you don't, you end up having a really dry life. Your life, the celebrations are what makes it worth living. So with my little picnic basket, I just started scheduling picnics. I just started scheduling outings out by the lake with a blanket and a friend. And I remember there was one time that the deer, we were out by, it was either Lake Lanier or Stone Mountain Park. I don't remember, but I remember we were up high on a mountain, and there was a lake there. And you know what? I don't even remember if there. I wait. There was a lake because I remember we were down by the water, and then we decided to come back up to a rock to kind of just chill out. And a deer actually came out and was near us because we were so still and quiet, just chilling. And a deer came out, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. All right. So Eve is going to go. She's tired. Listen, rest is important. Rest is important. I'm going to read the text, I mean the cash apples that have come in. And so my whole purpose for making this video is just to implore you. The question is, so you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but do you at least celebrate? Do you at least make a big deal about living? Do you at least make a big deal about people being here still on earth in your life? Do you make a big deal about you having whatever varied stage of health that you have right now? Because you know, we all have something different. This mosquito is getting me. I can feel it biting my bum bum. So it decided it couldn't come this side. So it came to the back and just bite my bum bum. All right. And so Dang says they're celebrating life. Somebody else says this Thanksgiving um is really special to her because of all that she's been through. Tonya says she was a Jehovah's Witness. I love that she did that. I did different with my kids. Oh, so Lady says it's been difficult celebrating since her husband passed the week before Christmas. And see, so I think that's what's, because you know your husband would want you to celebrate. So it's like you have to celebrate life because if you don't, what else do you have? You know, you have a life. And then, you know, it's so sad that people use religions as a way not to celebrate when I'm sure, you know, any God worth worshiping would want you to enjoy your life, would want you to get together with the people that you love, would want you to take time out to just really give gratitude for your time here and the specialness of it. But that's just me. I don't want to insult anybody, but here. Hey, hey. All right, let me grab this apple real quick. Tina sent $18 and said, just being you, for just being you, knockout. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let me send you some hearts. Oh, a new apple just came in. Let me refresh. Let me refresh and grab that while we're here. Oh, Lisa Roxanne sends $50 and says, autumn harvest gratefulness. Yay! I love that. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, this mosquito hasn't had its fill. It's now trying to bite around my ankles. I appreciate that. Look, if there's anything that you can gather from today's video, it's to please, by all means, take some time out. I'm gonna open up the phone lines because I want to interact with you all live. I was on a friend's page recently, and somebody close to her has passed away. And I think a lot of people are seeing an increase and upticks in people transitioning from the land of the living. And I anticipate that there's going to be a lot more, especially in this day post COVID with all of the newfangled XYZZZZZXYOOOO and all of this stuff. I'm not going to say nothing, but I imagine that there's going to be a lot of people transitioning, people getting closer and closer to all of us. And so celebrate the people while you have them here. Life is so short. Life is so short. And it becomes long, drab, and dreary when we don't take the time out. So even if on February 14th you don't celebrate Valentine's Day, make a yearly celebration of love. If you don't want to celebrate Mother's Day as it comes on the calendar, Make a yearly celebration of motherhood, fatherhood, childrenhood. Create your own holidays. The what was it on Parks and Recreation? Treat yourself holiday. Just do, make sure that you take the time out. So phone lines are open 323-488-3149. I want to hear from you and just whatever it is that you have to say about what it is that we've been talking about. I'm going to take about 3 phone calls and then I'm going to get back to cooking. I'm making vegan collard greens this year, but I am definitely making some cheese, mac and cheese until I come up with a better vegan, recipe. You know, I only do mac and cheese once a year now, and this is the time of the year that I do it. And this year I am experimenting. I'm going to use a roux because I realized that the last time I made macaroni and cheese, I was able to do some nutritional yeast, vinegar, and milk to give it an extra cheesy flavor. So I added some vegan components to it, inside of it, just to strict, because I use what I know can create a beautiful, wonderful, cheesy taste without having to add a bunch of extra cheese. So I was able to do that. 'Tis the season for transition. Sadly, it's a fall winter thing. Is it? Is it? And Taya is saying, I hope everyone has considered to not use relaxers in the hair. I've been seeing a lot of advertisements on Instagram for people who have come up with all types of illnesses as a result of relaxers. So, many people use turkey neck and neck bones and all that other stuff inside of their collard greens. So this year I what I did was I oven roasted some red bell peppers, and onions, and I oven roasted tomatoes, onions, and red bell peppers. And I peeled off the coating of the red bell pepper and then blended